Dallas Cowboys got yourself a victory. It's awesome. So far, your regular season to me means precisely squat. I'll explain why and why you should listen and why I actually think the Houston Texans have an arguably better chance, really, to move on farther in the playoffs. Also, a certain unwatched women's sport. You have one chance and one chance only. The new Magic and Larry of college basketball to come save your freaking bacon. Check it out. What's up, everyone? Tricky Guy Sports, your host, Brent Bilski, a.k.a. Double B. Today's episode, I swear to God, y'all are going to accuse me of hating and get on my nerves.
I hate.
It's the bitch of talking sports because, like, God forbid I have anything to say negative about anyone ever or be critical. I mean, this would be the most boring, podcast or show in the world if I just came up and said, you know what? Everyone's awesome. I love everything and everyone, and no one ever upsets me, or I never have any concerns. I mean, it's a stupid show, and it's a stupid idea, but every time I land on something that you're a fan of, oh, here you go. You're a hater. You don't like this. You're all that. You're racist. You're stupid. You never played the sport. You never watched the sport.
I hate.
I got two here for you, but I mean, I got plenty of things I want to start with, and let me kick in with the first one here. Let's kick right into the NFL. Another week is in the books. And, man, the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just kick things off. Dallas Cowboys looking great. It's awesome. It's good. I am not a Cowboys hater. I'm not. I do like to troll you a little bit with the song there, but I am Cowboys neutral. I promise I am. And, I mean, they're good for ratings. They're good for sports. They're good for everything. They're supposedly, America's team. And, look, they are entertaining every single year. If nothing else, I used to work at a radio station in Corpus, but we were the home of the Dallas Cowboys. And, man, if nothing else, they're always good for a story. There's always something intriguing. And this year, they're actually good. So let's start off with the good news, then I got the bad news. So good news, Dallas Cowboys fans, you beat the snot out of the New York Giants again. 49-17. I'm going to start off with all the good news here with the Dallas Cowboys. You're 6-3. You kicked the crap out of the New York Giants. After the 40-0 victory from last time and now 49-17, your plus 72 in those two games is a franchise record ever for the best performances in two games in one season you've ever had against your rival New York Giants. Your 640 yards you put up last night was only 12 yards short of the team record. CeeDee Lamb is destroying. CeeDee Lamb is kicking absolute ass. He is now the first NFL receiver ever to have 3 straight games with 10 catches and 150 yards. You're on a 12-game home win streak now over the last couple years. That is phenomenal. Matter of fact, it's the best home streak you've had since 1979 to 1981. So it's been 40 years since you've seen a home win streak the Dallas Cowboys have had now with 12 in a row. Over the regular season now with your 6-3 record, you're not just good, you're beating the crap out of teams. You're plus 104 plus minus point differential throughout the whole season, meaning that a combined score right now, you are winning by 104 total points of all the games played in your 6-3 record. That now makes you number 3 in the NFL in that category. Dak Prescott has been phenomenal. Been absolutely phenomenal. 404 yards last night, 5 total touchdowns. He now has a record game, now a third game this season. This is also a record for the Cowboys where he has had 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in 3 quarters of work in 3 total games. They've been able to let Cooper Rush do a lot of the, fourth quarters here because Dak has been coming out smoking. So again, 6-3, setting records. You beat the crap out of the New York Giants more than you have in any other season in the 2 games you've played them. You're looking good. Dak looks great. CeeDee looks great. Unfortunately, it's not that simple, though. Unfortunately, it's not always going to be that simple.
All the news about your football team ain't been good news.
Let me get real now with the Dallas Cowboys. Until I see something, and we all see something in the playoffs, this is all full of sound and fury signifying nothing. Yes, your record's great. Yes, you look good against the New York Giants. So let's start with the New York Giants. You want to talk about New York Giants, the team you just beat by plus 72 over the last 2 games? They're 2-8. I just mentioned plus-minus differential. Do you know what the New York Giants, their 2-8 record this year is good for in the plus-minus? They have lost all their games now by a combined negative 148 points. That is by far the worst team in the NFL. The next close to them is Carolina with like negative 86 overall. They are by far the worst team in the NFL. And this last game, you didn't even go against Daniel Jones. You went against, Tommy DeVito, who I don't think is the son of Danny DeVito, but he looked just like him the way he played. Your 6-3 record, Dallas Cowboys, you're 6-3. That's awesome, right? That's great. Here's the problem. You haven't done it against anybody. The teams that you played, 7 of 9 have a losing record. Their combined record now of all the teams you played in this 9 games where you got up to 6-3 are 31-44 combined. You can Google all this. The only 2 winning teams you've played so far, by the way, so 7 of the 9 teams you played are losing teams to get to your 6-3 record. The 2 that you played that are winning teams, you lost to. You didn't just lose to. By the way, they were also the 2 teams above you in the NFC who most likely have a better shot at the Super Bowl this year. San Francisco kicked your ass 42-10. Philadelphia beat you 28-23. If you take out, so this is even just to really signify just how serious this is, not like we don't know yet with you guys. So if you take out the 2 teams that you lost to's combined record, Philadelphia and San Francisco, you would now be 6-1 against the rest of those teams. That's awesome. The problem is those 7 teams would have a combined record of 17-40. Your 6 wins have gone against teams that are 17-40 combined. Not to mention all the old problems we haven't even brought up. You're 0-7 in the divisional round since 1996. You're 0-3 in the divisional round with Dak Prescott. You've only had 5 playoff wins in the last 27 years, and with 0.0 NFC Championship appearances. Just to give you an idea, so the last 27 years, you've had 0 NFC Championship appearances. The 26 years before that, you had 14. You're not the Cowboys of old. This is not the team that we're used to seeing, almost where the NFC Championship appearance was damn near a birthright. Like 14 in 26 years, you had 0 in the last 27. The 2 teams that beat you, by the way, look really good. Philadelphia is 8-1, continuing to cruise, and San Francisco is now off their 3-game losing streak. They just kicked the crap out of a good Jacksonville team and kicked the snot out of them because Trent Williams is back and Deebo Samuel is back, proving that a lot of people, what they're saying is that, hey, look, San Francisco's 49ers, if they're healthy, they're golden. There's no issues with them. They're going to be fine. Not to mention the Detroit Lions, who have now got up to 7-2, so you got 3 teams above you in the NFC that seem clearly above you. And how do I know that? Because you played 2 of them, they kicked your ass. Besides the loss to the Cardinals, but that happens. It's regular season. Trap games happen. But the 2 teams that beat you that are above you, you've played head-to-head and you lost. The only teams you beat have a combined record now of 17-40. So, this is great. Hey, you beat the New York Giants. You looked amazing. We still don't know. Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Unfortunately, this is all, and you can say it's right, you can say it's wrong, you can say I'm hating, you can say this. The fact is, at some point, Dak Prescott is going to have to get past either the wild card or the first round of the playoffs and prove something. And until then, look, you're going to look great. You got Carolina next. You got a pretty easy schedule to figure things out for the rest of the season. As long as you're healthy, that's the only thing you got to worry about. You're going to be in the playoffs. You're going to be fine. You actually are going to make the playoffs, but that's not what you want, is it? That's not what it's all about, is it? You guys want a Super Bowl. So I want to say this is great. I want to say this is phenomenal, and I want to root for you. I am not being a hater. Dallas Cowboys fan, who a lot of times are just as bad as LeBron fans, as, a political supporter, as a Swiftie. Like, there's certain people I put in a category of, like, you guys don't ever want to hear anything other than you guys hang the moon. But I'm telling you, as much as I was enjoying it, and I'm sure you were enjoying it, the 49-17 ass kicking that you put on the New York Giants, and you're plus 72 over 2 games this season, which is a new franchise record. 640 total yards. Dak Prescott looking at a 12-game home winning streak and looking phenomenal. Dak Prescott, again, is gotten rid of the interception problem, setting all types of records. All that's phenomenal. But this New York Giants team that you've dominated this year is the worst team in the NFL. They are 2-8 with a negative 48 plus-minus win differential. The 6-3 record that you guys now have is against, unfortunately, 7 of those 9 teams you played were losing teams, and the 2 that you lost to are the 2 ahead of you in San Francisco and Philadelphia, who kicked your ass. The 6 wins that you had, that 6-1 record, if you take out San Francisco and Philadelphia, were against the teams combined with a record of 17-40, and you're still 0-7 in divisional rounds since 1996. You haven't made an NFC championship in the last 26 years. You made 14 in the previous 26. And until I see something else besides you're just kicking the snot out of weak teams and what you can do in the playoffs, 0-3, in divisional round with Dak Prescott. All this is great and all this is fun, but it doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't mean anything. So look, you just want to stay healthy and you want to get through the last part of your little easy schedule here until you get to the playoffs. Once the playoffs come around, we can talk and we can see. And we'll see what Dak does in those moments. And I know it's frustrating. I know you don't like hearing that as a Cowboys fan, that it's all about the playoffs, but unfortunately it is. I don't know what to tell you. Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
You haven't beat anybody, and the teams that you did that were actually good kicked your ass. So there you go. On the other side of the coin, now this way I'm not a hater. This way I can actually say something nice. On the other side of the coin, the Houston Texans, the other Texas team, are the best story in football. The Houston Texans are by far right now, with their 5-4 record, the best story in the NFL. CJ Stroud, this guy Tank Dell, again, shout out to Tank, lives in my building. Cool guy, little guy, is doing phenomenally well for them. And they're just far exceeding every expectation they were supposed to have. This is now after they just beat the Bengals yesterday, a very good Cincinnati Bengals team. This was a team now with Joe Burrow back to full health that was looking like, oh man, they might be up there with KC and Baltimore right now as the best teams in the AFC. And they beat them. Now, it took, again, a close overtime. This is now not 1 but 2 weeks in a row where Houston Texans have got it done in the last second here. But again, that's even more indicative of what you got now in your franchise quarterback in C.J. Stroud. Cincinnati's a hell of a win. It's a hell of a win. It's your second consecutive in the last second. C.J. Stroud is now just the 4th rookie ever to have 2,500 yards in the first 9 games. He now joins Justin Herbert, Andrew Luck, and Cam Newton as the 4th quarterback ever as a rookie to have 2,500 yards in 9 games. His 470-yard, 5-touchdown performance he just put up the week before this against Tampa set all sorts of rookie records. C.J. Stroud is just that dude. I mean, he is just that dude. He is now second in yards, 2,626 yards, 15 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Look at everybody else at the top of that list in that top 8 in yards. The next closest is Goff with 5 interceptions. He is not turning the ball over. He is getting touchdowns. He is poised. He is clutch. He is looking like everything you would want in a franchise quarterback. Your head coach, Ryans, is killing it. And because of everything that worked out, you're able to get Will Anderson at number 3. This defense is competitive. They allowed only 20 points or less in the first 7 games. And the AFC, unlike the Cowboys in the NFC, looks like you actually have a shot outside of KC. I mean, the fact is, the top 3 of the 4 teams in the AFC just this last week lost. Miami lost, Baltimore lost, and the team above them in their division, Jacksonville, just got their ass kicked. And they're only now 1 game above the Texans. So that means the Texans, who played them again, have already beaten them once this year, will have a chance to tie the record right there. They got a real good chance to win their division. I mean, it is just, it's crazy. They have been absolutely phenomenal this whole season. And C.J. Stroud, and man, tell you what, you know, just this is exactly what I've been talking about. If you watch other podcasts, the will see and let time thing and everything play out before you make any judgments. I mean, the fact is, you guys were really upset, and don't try to change your tune on this. January 8th, 2022, you thought was one of the worst days in the world when you ended up beating the Indianapolis Colts in overtime. Davis Mills has that miracle comeback and the 2-point conversion. You guys thought your season was screwed this year because you won the last 2 after you started off 1-12-1 and lost the number 1 pick. It was the unfortunate win. The most unfortunate win in the world was going to screw the Houston Texans. Well, instead of getting Bryce Young, you ended up getting the better quarterback, the clutch quarterback, the one who just led another last second win here, that is second in yards in the NFL, that is setting all sorts of rookie records, that is the leader of this team, that has got this franchise looking in a completely different direction. It never would have happened if you didn't end up with the number 2 pick. Never know, man. You never know. And I'm going to keep telling you that until you guys hear me. You never know about anything good or bad until time plays out. Right now, it looks like out of the 2 Texas teams, I mean, if I had to really pick, and I'm being honest here, and I'm not even trying to make a joke out of this, or not even trying to be a troll, or not trying to get on Cowboys' nerves. If I had to pick a team who right now, as of week 10 or wherever we're at, has the better opportunity. If I had to pick right now, the Texas team that has the better opportunity, not being a troll, Texans. They really do. I mean, right now, we don't know a lot about CJ. Time's going to play all this out, other than he is off to a record start and he looks like everything he's supposed to be, but he's showing me he's clutch. He's shown me in the big moments he doesn't freak out. Maybe his life and then what he went through with his dad and all that might have something to do with it. I don't know. I don't want to get into the psychological of it. But I know that the Texans are in the AFC where, again, we just saw Baltimore lose, we just saw Miami lose, and we just saw Jacksonville get their ass kicked, and they're now only one ahead of them in their division. The AFC, other than Kansas City at the top of the mountain, looks like there's cracks in almost every team and can be beaten. Dallas Cowboys out there, again, in the NFC, I know you can't beat Philly, and I know you can't beat San Francisco. You know why? Because you already played them this year, and they both killed you. Philly was at least close. San Francisco killed you. And yes, you're 6-3. You're doing everything well. But as I pointed out before, it really all doesn't really matter because you haven't played anybody in those victories. Your 6 victories came against teams with a combined record of 17-40. I mean, I can't give you anything for that. I can't give you an attaboy. The only times you played competition, you lost. And then one of those you lost really bad. Those are the 2 teams above you. And I would probably put the Detroit Lions above you. Now, Texans, I obviously have a lot of teams above the Texans, but they're at least, coming up with a bullet. And because of their division, because of the way Jacksonville just performed, because the AFC, other than one team, only really has one that I'm like, they're clearly the better team, they have a chance to move through, whether they go through the wild card, whether they just get through the first couple, rounds of the playoffs. That still might, at the end of the day, be better than where the Cowboys end up, who might just do what they always do, which is maybe if they win a wild card or their first round game, not get past the divisional round and not make to the NFC Championship. I mean, what you got to go through probably at least Philly, San Francisco, Detroit. I mean, those are just the top of the mountain teams out there, but those 3 are clearly above you. Everybody else, I can't say Jacksonville's better than Houston. Houston already played Jacksonville and beat them. They're only 1 game above them right now and just got their ass kicked by San Francisco. If I was being honest, because the Dallas Cowboys, again, their 6-1 record, their best part of their record is against combined teams of 17-40, and because the Houston Texans are up and rising with the bullet, and C.J. Stroud looks like the franchise quarterback that they've been looking for, and because the AFC is a little bit weaker, if I had to pick one between the 2 right now, as almost everybody else would tell you, Dallas Cowboys, and really on paper you do. You have Dak Prescott, you have CeeDee Lamb, you have your offensive line, you have your defense led by Micah Parsons. I mean, there's everything that says that, but I'm just looking right now overall at both divisions and strengths and what you've done and what you've proven so far. Dallas Cowboys have only proven they can beat the snot out of the bad teams they're supposed to. Beat the New York Giants 49-17. Congratulations. They were starting Tommy DeVito, who looked like Danny. I don't know what to tell you. Don't take. This is not hating. Don't you dare say I'm hating. That's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. This is not hating.
I hate.
Being real.
I hate.
Dallas Cowboys, nothing matters till the playoffs come. Nothing matters till the playoffs come. All right, that's good. I feel like I got that off my chest. This is another thing I wanted to get into, and again, not hating, not being rude. This is a subject that a lot of people don't seem to care about as much as me, but I'll tell you right now, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of women's college basketball by the day. Because, man, it has just been a lot of fun to watch already, the few games that I have been able to look into. And again, give me a story and you've got me. Give me storylines, give me competition, give me things that I can focus on and kind of get into. Like I said, World Baseball Classic had me way back in the day. There's a lot of situations where the World Cup with Argentina and Messi being the old guy and Mbappe being the young guy out of France, it's easy. Root for the old guy, hate the French and the young. I get it. I'm all for it. They gave me storylines for soccer and baseball, 2 sports I usually don't give a shit about, and they were able to keep my interest. Now, women's college basketball has my interest. And I'm telling you right now, the WNBA, you guys really need to pray about what I'm about to tell you. Man, you guys really got to hope. The sports world has to hope this. Everyone's got to hope this, that Caitlin and Angel somehow find their way at least in March Madness. Really the godsend would be like a Final Four appearance or, something. I mean, a rematch in the finals would almost be too Hollywood. But at some point, because they're not on each other's schedule in this regular season, we got to get Iowa versus LSU somehow. I don't know how we're going to do it, but man, if they can keep that storyline going, this might finally be what the WNBA needs to actually give someone to give a shit. You need heroes. You got 2 right now. You got 2 heroes that could come save you, WNBA, and I'm being serious because right now you got your Angel out there in LSU and you got Miss Clark, who I'm going to just start calling Superwoman because gosh darn dang it, every other word I can say, That girl can play some serious ball, man. Caitlin Clark is that one from the I Am Her tribe. She is right now the best thing going on in almost all of sports. She's definitely the best thing going on in women's sports right now. She is just so entertaining and so good and quiet and humble and all the things that a lot of, average American can get their heads around and wrap their heads around. But she's also just extremely talented and is just unbelievably fun to watch. Iowa now is number 2 in the polls with everything going on, looking like that they are very much, again, going to be able to come back and be, at least compete for the national championship. Although South Carolina and Notre Dame and LSU, and I mean, there's a bunch of teams. UConn did lose, but you still got to put them on the list. There's a lot of teams out there that could give them problems. But I mean, I'm telling you right now, she is just god dang fun. She dominates, and she's Larry Bird. I mean, she is. And she isn't, because she plays more like Steph Curry. But if you can't see the comparisons between Caitlin Clark and Larry Bird and how her and Angel Reese could save the WNBA, let me tell you a story and let me break this down for you real simply so you guys can understand this, because it really isn't that hard to follow.
Yeah,
all right?
Okay. Here's the story I'm going to tell you. It goes a little something like this.
Caitlin Clark, again, is leading the league in scoring, leading women's basketball again in scoring. But if you cannot see the obvious, just, easy, besides the fact that they're both white, which is, that's part of it, it really is. I'm not going to sit here and ignore it. But if you cannot see how close it is between Larry and Caitlin, the story is damn near identical. Let me just tell you one story and see if they don't both match. Unassuming small-town person with a lot of talent ends up being up at a smaller Division I, a mid-level Division I, who's quiet and shy, kind of in public, kind of humble, but on the court talks trash and is an absolute killer. They take their Division Is to new heights and make it to the NCAA Finals, where they are the best player on the floor, but end up being beat by the better team and a player who gets more attention, is more flashy, and is more media savvy, media friendly, and creates a beautiful rivalry. Both of those set finals records as far as television viewership and everything else. I mean, and again, go back to, quiet, unassuming, everything, in between there, but is absolutely a killer and absolutely an alpha. It's the same story. Again, I'll just give it to you real quick. The unassuming small-town person goes to a mid-level Division I, who's quiet in public but a killer on the court, takes that mid-level Division I all the way to the NCAA Final, only to bump into a better team with a flashier, more media-savvy, more friendly player, and ends up losing, but still sets all-time NCAA viewership records and gets everybody's eyeballs and attention on it, and then maybe goes on to, to the pros to, save the other league. I will not stop repeating this. The NBA was on tape delay. And this is what I want to talk about. So again, WNBA, this is what I'm saying. This is how I want things to work out, and you guys get Angel and Supergirl to come save your life. You need this hero. You need it. You need it, you need it, you need it. I hope you're hearing me. You guys need to pray to everything holy that these two end up working out and playing each other one more time and getting to where everybody wants to see and then moving on to the next league. Because the fact is, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson saved the NBA. The NBA was on tape delay in 1980. It was absolutely embarrassing. It really was. They were on tape delay. They were not even live. Their NBA finals were not live the year before Magic and Larry started playing in the National Basketball Association. But the year before that, they had set all-time records with their viewership because they had 35 million viewers. It is still today the most watched NCAA finals game ever in the history of ever. And then they went on to the league. They ended up finding to be on both teams that were so just a perfect fit for them, and then also be able to create a perfect competition. Magic ended up being on the Showtime Lakers, which was a coin flip. I mean, if the gods were anywhere in that situation, that's, go look that up and go look about all that. I mean, Magic Johnson was supposed to be a Chicago Bull. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I mean, this is so crazy that 40-something years later, we are seeing, I don't even want I want the inspirational song. I want this song. It is crazy to see how everything is kind of, their rivers are flowing and everything's kind of just being wrapped up in a bow here. So to review, between the NBA and the WNBA, and how can we get Magic and Bird 2.0 to save the WNBA, the way Magic and Larry saved the NBA. In 1980, it was on tape delay. The year before that, Magic and Larry play each other in the NCAA Finals and ended up becoming big rivals where Magic ends up beating Larry, who was considered the better player at the time, and then go on to the pros to have years and years of rivalries where one guy, Magic Johnson, ends up on the LA Lakers, Showtime, with Jerry Buss, where he fits it perfectly. Larry ends up in Boston, Red Auerbach, Boston. Blue collar, also very white. Got to mention that as well. White versus black is a big part of this, whether we want to admit it or not. And they ended up being each other's best rivals, played each other for years, saved the NBA. Now you got Caitlin and Angel, who right now are both kicking ass. LSU did lose their first game, but still, LSU, just so you know, is still number 7 in the country and the defending national champions. Angel Reese is right back where she left off. Look at these stats here. Angel Reese is averaging 21.5, 32nd in the NCAAs. She's 13 rebounds a game, is tied for 10th. Her LSU team looks very good. Again, a very good player, media savvy, friendly, media darling, really. Met Gala, all sorts of stuff, knows how to play in front of the camera, knows how to bring the Showtime factor into this at LSU. On the other side, Caitlin is continuing to be Caitlin. 36 points a game, number 1 in the country. She just had a triple-double just the other day. Iowa is now number 2. These two are already rivals, obviously, with the you can't see me's and all that other stuff. And it looks like, hopefully, if they can play each other again and make it to the WNBA, just so you know, I looked this up in a mock draft. I did. I looked this up. Guess who was number 1 and number 2 in the mock drafts? Guess who is number 1 and number 2 in the mock drafts if the WNBA works out next year? And look at the teams that they would end up on. Number 1 would be Caitlin to Indiana, and number 2 would be Angel to Phoenix. How perfect. Again, Magic ends up in the Showtime Lakers. Larry Bird ends up on the Boston Celtics. Both of them fit their personalities. Let's get, if everything works out, Caitlin over to Indiana, which is, Indiana, yeehaw. And then you have Phoenix, who has Brittany Griner, and, is also the West Coast with Brittany and Angel. You're going to have, this is just, this would be so beautiful. This would be so perfectly right down the middle here. This is just, if you're the WNBA, you got to pray for this. And you need to pray for this because your ratings suck. I don't know what to tell you. I sometimes keep this part out of the YouTubes and stuff I put out because I want to make sure I say this properly. I just want you to understand that, guys, your ratings aren't good. It really was. The best example, and I'll show it one more time, was when Michael Che trolled you, and it was absolutely beautiful. Because if anybody should have known and should have been able to know better and be wiser, it was the New York Saturday Night Live audience. If anyone should be an example of at least there's somebody watching your sport, it should have been the New York crowd, the Saturday Night Live crowd, the most progressive woke crowd out there. And Michael even knew that he could troll them. Michael even knew, even at that point, that he could drop this joke on y'all and embarrass everybody else out there in that crowd. This was so damn funny.
This week, the WNBA Finals were won by the New York Liberty. I'm kidding. Vegas beat them in 4, you phonies. You didn't see that game. Shame on you.
If anybody should have known, it should have been the New York SNL crowd, and they don't even know because, again, the ratings are terrible. You guys are somehow thinking you can brag about, 690,000 average viewership? How would you feel if your kid walked up to you and said, Mom, Dad, I got a D+? I guess you pass, but it ain't anything to write home about. I'm not going to put that on the refrigerator. The WNBA had the nerve, after being on ABC and ESPN with all sorts of being, promotion and everything, to brag about 690,000 viewers. Like that's something to brag about. Oh, it's the best they've done in 20 years. The WNBA hasn't had an average million viewers for the WNBA Finals since 2000. Since the year 2000, the WNBA has not had at least 1 million viewers on average watch their WNBA Finals, which has constantly been on either ABC or ESPN since 2020, like the third year the WNBA was in existence and had the comments back then that were really, really good. Since then, you've averaged less than 1 million. You averaged less than like AEW wrestling on TNT. Meanwhile, Average NBA game puts up 5, 6. I mean, the numbers, it's atrocious. It really is. And even Michael Che couldn't save you or, exposed you with what he did. He went out there on Saturday Night Live to a New York crowd, a woke, progressive New York crowd, and made them look really, really stupid.
This week, the WNBA finals were won by the New York Liberty. I'm kidding. Vegas beat them in 4, you phonies. You didn't see that game. Shame on you.
No one's watching and you're struggling. But again, I got the solution. And it looks like it's being played out. This is Magic and Larry 2.0. This is Magic and Larry 2.0. With the number 2 team in the country right now, Iowa, and Caitlin Clark being the number 1 leading scorer, is leading Iowa right now to maybe another possible finals run. And on the other side, LSU with their new transfers, Haley Van Lith and others, and Angel Reese, 21.5 and 13 rebounds. These are the 2 superstars of the college basketball world right now, who are currently, and again, I'll show this one more time, mock draft shows are picked right now for 1 and 2, with Caitlin going to Indiana and Angel going to Phoenix and joining Brittany Griner. This is just, if there was ever a chance to save your league and to get attention and to get eyeballs and to finally give us a story that we could all easily get our heads around and wrap our brains around, Phoenix becomes the flashy, new fun, sometimes going to piss a lot of middle America off with their comments and the way that they act and all that, but the young crowd's going to be able to love them and root for them and be Showtime and all that. Then you got little humble Caitlin, who's the Larry Bird of nowadays, but plays like Steph Curry, goes to little Indiana, and then, gets that crowd. You got the black versus white, you got flashy versus showy, you got Indiana versus the West Coast. Just like Boston versus LA, it is just wrapped in a bow. It is wrapped in a bow. If you are the WNBA, if you are not now currently doing a seance with candles out, and I know speaking in tongues or something, just whatever God you have to pray to that actually makes this work out, after hopefully another great, women's college basketball year, where, again, Caitlin goes 1 to Indy, and then Angel goes over there to join Brittany out there in Phoenix. It's your one shot. It's the one thing that could save the WNBA and actually give them a story and ratings and something the rest of us could actually give a shit about. I hope you guys are doing everything you can to possibly make that happen. All right, good. So those were the 2 points I really wanted to make today. I think I've done that, and I think I've had fun with it, and I think you have too. And if not, well, that's your problem, isn't it? Let's get to some videos, and we can call it a day.
You seen it? You seen it? Don't look at me. Don't look at me, little puppet.
Have you seen this? Have you read about this?
This is always just a fun end of the show. Although this first one, since I'm doing the whole I hate thing, let me go ahead and mention this real quick and start with this video. Then I'm going to get into just some silly, dumb ones or whatever. Please always go at this point to our YouTube channel, Tricky Guy Sports. You can watch all these and ride along with us. But let me start off, because the whole theme today has been kind of, you hate the WNBA. You hate Angel Reese. You hate the Dallas Cowboys. You hate this. You hate that.
I hate.
Whatever. This one, I'm not hating on him. Coach Sharon Moore, the interim coach right now in Michigan. And let me say this to start things off. I do not care about the Michigan scandal, Jim Harbaugh being suspended for the last 3 games. He was caught cheating. It's kind of weird to me that he got the slap, that they actually had the balls to suspend him when Michigan looks like a national championship winner this year. I'm not from Michigan. My family's from Michigan, but I don't root for Michigan football. Never been a huge, fan of Harbaugh. The whole scandal to me is just like, the same thing in other NCAA scandals where they catch one team paying kids under the table or some sort of recruiting violation, and then they end up being punished, and others go, well, other schools do it, and they didn't get punished and all that. It doesn't mean anything to me. But I thought this was interesting. So, in case you haven't been following all that, so Michigan football this year is really good, top 4, look like a national championship contender. McCarthy is moving his way up the draft stock into possibly being maybe a top pick this year in the NFL draft coming up, maybe even top 10 the way things are going. So then the scandal hits. Turns out that they were stealing signs from other coaches and doing it in illegal manners. So Jim Harbaugh now has been suspended for the last 3 weeks of the season. However, there's an injunction and there's a hearing this Friday, and we're going to find out a bunch of stuff about that. Maybe he'll he'll actually be able to finish out the season. Maybe he won't. All that's, going on. So he wasn't there, though, this Saturday when Michigan played Penn State in a huge, huge game that had huge outcomes for everybody in the national title hunt so far this season. And Michigan actually gets it done. They beat Ohio State. They did it. Penn State. They still got Ohio State. So Michigan goes out, they beat Penn State, even without Harbaugh. That's awesome.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
So then the interim coach, Sharon Moore, then afterwards is doing the post-game interview. And, he's into it. He's fired up. Let me show you this real quick. This was the interim coach afterwards when they asked him after the big win. And it was a great win, very emotional, all that. But he might have been a little bit more emotional than the average Bear here. Is all I'm going to say. Oh, that's the picture there. Excuse me. Let me go ahead and get to I have the picture, but I want to get to the video. One more time. This is Sharon Moore after their emotional win. And, he's emotional. It was an emotional game.
To say that this has been a crazy 24 hours for your guys, to win on the road in this environment when there were doubts, Sharon, what does it mean to you?
Well, I thank the Lord. Well, I thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. Did this for you. For this university, the president, our AD, we got the best players, best university, best alumni in the country. Love you guys. These fucking guys right here. These guys right here, man. These guys did it. These guys did it, man. Talk to him, man. Love you.
So, yeah, that went viral, obviously. It's not every day you hear the head coach dropping F-bombs and all that. But he is the interim coach, and it was an emotional game with everything going on. Apparently, even Harbaugh didn't know about the suspension. The usual routes ended up finding out through social media and all that. But, of course, everyone's kind of having fun with him a little bit and showing everybody the memes and the clips. Coach Harbaugh, I love the ish out of you. We effing did it for our kids and all that. I mean, I guess my first reaction when I saw this, my eyes did roll a little bit because, we did it for Harbaugh. We did it for the university. He's not Nelson Mandela. He got suspended because the university got caught cheating. I mean, they're not even really seeming to argue that much that they did it. The real argument I'm hearing more is that other schools did it too, or that they're only coming on us this hard because, the other schools are jealous of us right now because we're so good. But it's not like really they didn't get caught in the violation and that there was a punishment. So this idea of Harbaugh being laid up in a hospital somewhere is a little bit much for me. And I kind of roll my eyes. But the other thing, and look, this again gets into a lot of avenues that can rub a lot of people the wrong way. But the fact is, if you are Coach Moore here, you are the interim coach. I mean, Jimbo Fisher just got fired. There's been plenty of, firings right now in big universities. This was kind of your first introduction to the national scene here. You just got a big win over Penn State. You're able to lead them to a great victory. It's emotional, and fans are going to support this, and people are going to get mad at me and say all sorts of things. I mean, look, it was not necessarily that it was a job interview, but it was really the nation's first introduction to you. And you're coming out and I just want to fucking take this and shit on fucking that fucking shit. I get you're fired up. I get it. It was an emotional win, but maybe that wasn't the best look as far as if he is looking to be a head coach somewhere else. Because, of course, fans are going to love it. Twitter's going to love it. Michigan's going to love it. Kids are going to love it. Athletes are going to love it. Former athletes are going to love it. You know who's not going to love that, though? Athletic directors right now looking to hire somebody. They're just not. I mean, you can get cranky pants about this all you want, but, I mean, as fun as it is, and yes, sports are different than the rest of the world, but if you think that that's not a little bit of a truth, that, it's all about they showed passion, and he showed fire, and he showed that he cared, go to a job interview and try that. I know that sports are different than the rest of the world, but go to a job interview with that level of passion and emotion. Mr. Smith or whatever, would you like to work here? I'd fucking love to work here. Oh my God, I love the shit out of these guys. I love the shit out of your company. I can't fucking wait to work here. I mean, Mom somewhere mad I'm cussing so much. But seriously, if you wouldn't drop that at a job, they'd be like, well, you're passionate, you're fired up, but I don't really know if that works for, the head of the table here, the position that we're looking for. It is, in a way, it was kind of his coming out party here because it was a great win and it was an unbelievably well-coached game. But, I mean, it was a bit much. It was a bit much, To
say that this has been a crazy 24 hours for your guys, to win on the road in this environment when there were doubts, Sharon, what does it mean to you?
Well, I thank the Lord. Well, I thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. Did this for you. For this university, the president, our AD, we got the best players, best university, best alumni in the country. Love you guys. These fucking guys right here. These guys right here, man. These guys did it. These guys did it, man. Talk to him, man. Love you.
So again, I don't know his goals or his future, and I don't want to just upset the world here because it is passionate. It is sports. He was into it. It was very emotional. Although I don't think I put it at the level they do. Again, it's not Mandela. He wasn't locked up. He got suspended for a rules violation. And while Twitter loves it, athletes love it, kids love it, everybody else that loves it, and it's inspirational and it's great, and I'm rooting for him. Maybe the next game. Look, this was your first one. Next game, after you get a couple more victories, if you're still there, which looks like it's a very big possibility, Coach Moore, maybe just, take it down a little bit. Oh, great game, good victory. Want to thank the kids. They did an excellent job today. Thank you for your time. And keep it pushing, man. This is cute once. Also, I don't think you can keep it up every single time, this level of emotion. And it's made you viral, and it's got your name out, and everybody knows who you are now. So in that way, it's been productive. Maybe the next time, though, when you get the mic in front of you, stay away from the Fs and the shits and the and doing all that. Because, again, while everyone else might love it, ADs probably don't love it. I'm trying to keep it a buck. And if people are being that upset about it, again, you go to a job interview with that level of passion. I know sports are different than the rest of the world, but go there. Mr. Moore, would you like this job? I fucking love this job. I can't wait to have this job. I love the people here. I love the employees. I love what you sell. I love the shit out of this. It's probably not going to get you into the management position. Right now, Coach Moore, because of Jimbo and others being fired, actually has an opportunity to get into management, quote-unquote, positions in his world. Maybe drop the Fs and shits and do all that and just keep it going, though. I'd rather see you win than Ohio State, to be honest. Go Michigan. Go Blue. Might all be a moot point. Harbaugh might be able to come back. He does have the injunction. We shall see. That was just a quick one. Let me get to the sillier videos because that's really where I wanted to do more today. This is always the end of the show. Fun stuff. Peer pressure. Let me finish off on this. Let me do this. This is all about peer pressure. There's going to be a theme here for these last few videos. Matter of fact, I'm going to restart. Let's just do it again with video introduction. The whole thing.
You seen this? Don't look at me. Don't look at me, little puppet.
Have you seen this? Have you read about this?
Today's video section is all about peer pressure. Something I really wasn't ever affected by, if I'm keeping it 100% here, because I don't know, I've just had a weird gene in me. I've done a lot of stupid stuff in my life, don't get me wrong, but I never did it because you told me to. Sadly, I made all my dumb decisions all on my lonesome. So it's hard for me to be influenced by others. But I've been told, and it's been explained to me, that peer pressure is one of the hardest things to deal with for the average human being. So much so they have those studies, you ever go watch some of those, where they'll have things where it's like, they'll have like a group of 50, 49 are in on the study and one person isn't. But 49 people in a room will clearly say the wrong answer of they'll give them 3 lines on a chart with A, B, and C underneath. And let's say C is clearly longer than B, and they'll ask 49 other people which one's longer, and they'll say B, and because it's just the guy doesn't want to be the one person sticking out, he will end up either lying or telling himself. Anyways, peer pressure is a real thing, and I understand that, but it can also get you hurt, and it can really mess you up for life, and that's where we are going with all these little videos here I'm about to show you. So, without further ado, what am I talking about? Let's start off with let's do this one. Here's one. Friends convincing this person. Hey, swing around. Do that really fast. Don't worry. We'll figure out how you get down when you're done. Yeah, get all the way over. Look at all the friends rooting them on. Bet that hurt. Bet that hurt. Nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. Nothing can influence you more than peer pressure. All his buddies. Yeah, man. This is totally safe. You can hear the girls. The girls are watching, Got to do it for the girls. And...
Honey, take a good picture. I'm dead.
Be careful. I don't even know what he was thinking about. I don't know what the dismount... I don't know... Still. Don't do stupid shit just because people tell you to. But moving on. What else did I want to show you in this category? Here's another one. Let's keep up the bar flipping routine here. This is a coach And I'm not going to say he was peer pressured, but he clearly wanted to show off for the young kids that he's coaching and show them that, yeah, the old man still got it. I know this feeling very well. Still want to show the young kids that you can do things sometimes. Young people watching, you'll get old one day. You'll get there. So this coach.
What's happening? What's happening?
Getting that work.
We already in the grind.
Getting that work. You already know how it go.
Give you a little something extra.
Give him something.
Go ahead.
Show you everything is possible.
Anything's possible.
Get them right, coach. Get them right.
Get him right, coach.
Get them right, coach.
Get him right, coach. Show him. Show him the way to do things.
Coach, you good?
I love the kid ask, are you good? No, he's not good. That dude, he just decided to take a nap in the middle of the gym. He smashed his head and he decided to go to sleep because he's fine. This kid's face says it all here. But let's look at that one more time here. So, yeah. What's going on?
We
got this.
Getting that work. You already know how
Yeah,
it
getting
go.
that work, son. Getting that work.
Give you a little something extra.
Oh, yeah, go
Show
ahead.
you everything is possible.
Everything's possible, man. All things are possible. Doesn't
Get 'em
matter how
right,
old
coach.
you
Get 'em
are.
right.
Get him right, coach. Get him right, coach.
Get them right, coach. Coach, you good?
No, he's clearly not good. He's sleeping, for Christ's sake. I get it. I'm old. Sometimes you want to show off for the young kids. I get it. Still had to hurt. What else ones have to hurt here? Oh, here's a good one. This is kind of just, I lost a bet where I've had to do something similar to this. But this guy, obviously the news and the pressure, I actually found out this guy's name is Rob Moore. This is from 2007 on ESPN. And they were trying to, bring attention and eyeballs to this bit because he was doing something for a football game and they were trying to get, outside eyeballs in. So he goes to the chili center of New Mexico. I think it's for New Mexico State. This guy, Rob Moore, 2007, goes to New Mexico State and they have a chili, we make psychotic chilies farm thing or something. But again, this is not just the peer pressure of the news and the work pressure. This was his own. He even said himself that he wanted to make sure this bit was entertaining, and it certainly was.
The Chili Pepper Institute here at New Mexico State University. We got your everyday, ordinary chili peppers here.
And this is the Buchaloki, the world's hottest chili pepper.
Right.
Just bites right in.
Scoville heat units.
What does that mean?
Oh, that's the world's hottest chili right there. And so I'm going to give you some milk to cut that heat.
1,000,000 Scoville. Yeah.
Idiot. That was a dumb move, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. Sure was, buddy.
I don't even taste the milk.
Oh, my. It's not cutting the heat for you at all.
No, not so much.
Oh, geez. Oh, man.
How long is this going to last?
For some people, 5-6 hours.
Seriously?
Seriously. It all depends on you.
Information I could have used a little while ago.
Don't blame them.
It keeps giving, doesn't it?
Don't you dare blame them. Don't you dare blame them. To review one more time, I won't show you the whole thing again, but I'll just show you the first part. He doesn't wait. He bites right in.
State University. We got your everyday, ordinary chili peppers here.
And this is the Buchaloki, the world's hottest chili pepper.
Right.
Yeah, let me just pop right in. You can't blame them. You can't say that's information I needed later. How dare you? He did. I found an interview later. He did say that this was all actually he knew what he was getting into, although he didn't know what he was getting into. He knew it was supposed to be hot, but I don't think a lot of people understand 1,000,000 Scoville. 1,000,000 Scoville.
The world's hottest chili right there. And so I'm going to give you some milk
can kill the wrong person. It's bad. It's bad. It's real bad. Quickly.
So, that was a dumb move, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes.
I don't even taste the milk.
Oh, my. It's not cutting the heat for you at all.
No, not so much.
Oh, geez. Oh, man.
How long is this going to last?
For some people, 5-6 hours.
Seriously?
Seriously. It all depends on you.
Information I could have used a little while ago. It keeps giving, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Got some tears.
Ding dong.
I ain't got a good brain.
Yeah, someone tells you there's 1,000,000 Scoville units in a pepper. Don't eat it. Ever. Unless you're at gunpoint. or on Hot Ones. Great show, by the way. What else did I want to show you here? Oh, this is the last one, I think, for peer pressure. Yep, it's my last one. This one's easy. I mean, don't jump off of cliffs because your drunk friends tell you to. I don't know if they're drunk, they're acting drunk, or they're acting stupid. And just don't do this. I don't give a damn how much people tell you to do it. Don't do it. At all. Ever. This one actually is in 2 angles, which is even more entertaining. They didn't get one, they got 2 angles of this. But don't listen to your dumb friends. Don't jump off of cliffs because you might snap your legs.
I can clear it. All right, ready?
No, you can't.
Wait. You can fucking clear it. You got it.
No, you can't.
4, 3, 2, 1. Send it. Oh, fuck.
Go. Instant replay. Second angle. Coming right now.
4, 3, 2, 1. Send it. Oh, fuck.
That crack, man. That sounds like a chiropractor crack, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound like when you go to, like, see a good... I mean, that thing's just a crack.
2, 1. Send it. Oh, fuck.
God, rest in peace. That poor guy. That poor guy. He can do this celebrity impression. I won't do that one yet. I'll show you in a second. Ouchie. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. You know what? Let me show you this one. I'm going to test your sense of humors. I didn't do it. I want to throw this one in there just for fun. I have another one I want to throw in just for fun. The guy snapping his legs kind of made me think about it. If you're sensitive or whatever, again, the guy that did this is clearly in on the joke. And sometimes I just wish some people could just, it's okay. It's okay you're about to laugh. It's okay there's a part of you somewhere in there that's going to laugh in the next 5 seconds, or about 10. All right? Don't be upset. Don't be upset. Here we go.
What's a celebrity impression that you can do?
Timmy!
Party you did. Yes, you did. South Park, Timmy, living a lie. Party you laughed. I don't want to hear any nonsense from you people.
What's a celebrity impression that you can do?
Timmy!
It hurts that it's funny, isn't it? It stings. It's kind of funny. He's in on it. He's the one who did the joke. It's not like he's like, oh no, you guys recorded me without my consent or whatever. Sometimes you just gotta laugh, man. Life's too short. He's found a sense of humor in a very tough situation. Why can't you find it watching a clip of a video? Does it make you feel better? I didn't laugh at all. I don't think that's funny. Maybe you didn't see South Park. It's the only way that couldn't be funny to you. You know what's funny? I'm out of time. Gotta go. Love you. Bye-bye.